Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet. Packernet Podcast, actually, is what we're doing right now. I am your host and resident panelist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. I get them confused. All right, we're going to continue. We're going to finish what we did yesterday. Makes no sense to just do the first half, you know what I mean? Especially since the second half, things got better. First half was worse. You don't want to end on a terrible note. Let's end on a good note. Before we get there, I think it's obviously important that we discuss the fact that Jaire Alexander has officially been shut down for the year. In a way, as much as, I'll be honest, I don't even know exactly what the dialogue is. I haven't seen a ton. But we'll see. We'll see exactly what the reaction is. There's a sense in which, in my opinion, this is a good thing. And the only reason I say that is it puts to rest any speculation of him being some kind of an off-the-field distraction, terrible teammate, whatever. And honestly, I don't know where that ever came from. What is one example of him being some kind of a locker room cancer? I know last year he got suspended, but what did he do? It was, his hometown or something, and he thought it would be cool to be the team captain. So he's like, I'm going to go out there. And I think his teammates were like, yeah, dude, you should go out there. So it was just kind of like this fun thing that he didn't think would be that big of a deal. Turns out it is a big deal. He got suspended, he apologized, and we moved on. Do you have any other examples of him being some kind of a cancer? I can't think of any. He's a goofball. He's a fun guy. Seems to be very well liked. I don't think there's any issues there. He's had injuries, and I know that annoys a lot of people, and I think, I think a lot of people, no matter what, have written him off. They're mad at him. They don't like him for whatever reason, and so they've made it up in their mind that he's just a terrible, awful, no good human being. But I don't think there's any of that. So the reality is, the guy had a knee injury. They thought he could tough it out. He came back. Bad idea. Got injured again. Decided not to shut him down. Let him play through it. Let him practice through it. It kept getting injured. It kept, having issues. So he never came back, aside from, the few times he briefly came back. Got to the point where they realized that it's not going to work, and he's going to need season-ending knee surgery because he had a PCL injury. Not because he just has the little aches and pains and was being a baby and decided not to play, which again, the idea that he's just refusing to play is nonsense. If he's refusing to play, he will be suspended for conduct detrimental. We know that. We've seen that. It's very obvious. So that's not happening. I tried to pose some kind of nuance, like, if we're going to play this game, if we're going to go down this road, what could it possibly be? If there's anything weird going on, because there's a ton of speculation. And I came up with one maybe possible thing, but even that was kind of iffy. But I feel like now we can look at it and go, okay, let's put it to bed. Let's be done with that narrative. And so I want to dispel a lot of the bull crap that's going around. Number one, that he's a locker room cancer. I've seen zero evidence of that. Number two, that he's not a very good football player, which, yes, some people, I saw, like, nobody's saying that. It's just, yes, they are. Stop it. Stop it. That's absolutely being said. He's a very good player when he's healthy. He had a knee injury, so he wasn't able to play. And I think he's a good teammate. I think he's a good player. Now, does that mean he's going to stay here? Does it mean I don't know what it means. I don't know exactly his contract situation. I know it's a bad situation, but I think from my perspective right now, a lot of the people that think Jaire should be cut are people that are just frustrated with him. And everybody that they're frustrated with, they just want him gone. And I don't see that as being a net benefit. I've said this before. If Jaire is under contract next year, which he is, but let's just say there's financially it would be in any way painful to get rid of him. It's nonsense to get rid of him. Why would I get rid of him? Well, he's hurt all the time. You mean in the past? Well, yeah, but that's he might get hurt again in the future. He's more likely to. Okay. And, like I said, Saquon Barkley. What about that? The Eagles are geniuses for picking up Saquon Barkley, and the Giants are idiots for getting rid of him. The guy is injury-riddled to the nth degree. So why are the Giants stupid? Because they did exactly what you want to do with Jaire. The bottom line is, when he's healthy, which maybe it's not going to be often, maybe it will, maybe next year he doesn't get injured. I don't know. There's no guarantees you get injured. All I know is what we would be doing is paying money to get rid of a guy. I'm assuming. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Paying money to get rid of a guy because we're frustrated that he didn't play. And so we're going to let him take his talents as a now healthy player somewhere else just because we're annoyed. And now we don't have him. And now we just completely suck. Well, we could draft somebody. So what? What is that going to do? Who are you going to draft? Who? Kevin King 2.0, Eric Stokes 3.0. Sometimes guys get injured. That sucks. But you know what? He's ours. And that's a good thing. And when he's healthy, he's going to play for us. Not for somebody else, for us. And when he's injured, he plays for nobody. And this idea that he's just taking all this money, if we weren't paying him, we could do all this other stuff. Do what? What are you going to do with all the money? We have $1 bajillion next year. And there's we have more money than we could possibly spend. So we're going to spend all that money on new players, which there's not even that many free agents. I mean, there's a bunch, but most of them just kind of suck. And then we're also going to get rid of Jaire for what? For what? I don't know. I don't understand it. I really, really don't. He's injured and you're annoyed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry that his suffering is annoying you. I'm so sorry that this guy grinding out, playing on a busted knee has annoyed you. Maybe you should see if Jaire will write you a letter of apology. We'll have Christian Watson do the same thing. He's hurt again. And by again, I mean he was hurt last year, and now he's hurt, this week or last week. So that's annoying. So he should probably publicly apologize to all the fans for being annoying after suffering a violent hit to his knee. So, again, I don't know what's going to happen. Packers might let him go. A lot of very smart people think that he's done after this year, which is entirely possible. I'm just, again, giving my perspective. And again, hoping that we can put a lot of this stuff to rest, but I have a hunch that that's not necessarily how that's going to go. All right. Second half. It is, third quarter. 9:44 is the first time the Packers touch the ball. And the Packers have it at a 40-yard line. I would do a fun little recap of yesterday, but I don't want to. You can go back and listen to that, get an idea of how that all went down from my perspective. First play, just get the ball out quick to Romeo Doubs. See if he can make a man miss. And he didn't make a man miss, but he went and got 5 yards, which is really all you need. I think this is kind of when we're getting into, we need to get Jordan Love into some kind of a rhythm / tons of pressure and everything else. So, we just got to try to attack this the right way. And like I said, in the first half, this is a situation where just give it to those guys and let them go do something. He didn't necessarily make a miss, but he caught it and ran through the guy's face and got 5 yards. Not a bad start. However, penalty on Green Bay offense. Too many men on the field. 5 yards and forced at the Green Bay 45. So that makes it, instead of 2nd and 5, 2nd and 10. Yippee! So the Packers, not wanting to get into a pass situation, decide we're going to hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs. The play is just kind of a sloppy mess across the board. It's hard to identify all the little pieces that went wrong here. We had a tight end that just got blown straight back, which was the first initial issue. The tight end in question here is John Fitzpatrick, number 86. So that's part of the issue is we got John Fitzpatrick out there. He gets dominated. It's not that big of a deal because it's not exactly where they want to go, but it still kind of sets the tone for things not going very well. Brooks comes up, tries to make a block on a linebacker. Linebacker says, screw you, buddy. Knocks him straight back into Jacobs. Jacobs is able to squeeze past that. Unfortunately, Zach Tom was trying to go get a guy at the next level. That didn't really work. Josh Jacobs makes that guy miss, but he does so much dancing, left, right, left, right, left, right. He's zigzagging all the way, and all he ends up getting is 1 yard on the play. So it's just a sloppy mess. So now we're sitting in everybody's favorite 3rd and 9. That's just the best when you're in a 3rd and long situation. Obviously, we're going to pass, so that sucks. Vikings run a delay blitz. Just absolutely, Josh Myers. I don't understand this whole concept here. I just feel like you got to be smarter than this. Again, I don't know what these guys are teaching, but essentially you've got a 3-man rush with some guys just kind of lingering, right? There's a linebacker just kind of sitting there. We've got, and maybe this is Elton they're both freaking stupid, man. I'm trying to paint this picture. It's a 3-man rush with 2 guys lingering, right? Brooks comes up and blocks one of them, and Josh Myers is kind of there helping a little bit, but not really doing much. Brooks has kind of got him blocked up. So Myers is like, you know what? I'm going to help Brooks, the running back, come and just kind of block this guy. Elton Jenkins is standing there blocking nobody. Remember, it's a 3-man rush, so he's like, I got nothing to do. So he goes and decides he's going to go help the right tackle. So the center decides, screw this area, I'm going to go off to the right. The guard decides, I'm going to go shooting off to the left, leaving a massive vacancy for 2 linebackers to just come screaming through. Myers obviously notices it entirely too late. Elton Jenkins' back is entirely turned. He has no idea what's going on as these 2 linebackers are coming through. Myers catches the second one, but as soon as he gets off of that, the guy that he was helping with, he gets through, so Jordan Love is under duress. Now, the question is about the routes. Unfortunately, one of the complaints is, well, they're all deep routes. You got to get 9 yards. There is a guy underneath, so there's 4 guys running routes. I can't see who that is. So we do have one guy running a shorter route, kind of. I think it might be Tucker, who kind of releases late. Yeah, it's Tucker. And he's covered up, so it doesn't really matter. The thing that sucks is, did our coach run a play that got a guy open past the sticks? The answer is yes. If this was blocked up properly, Jaden Reed is about as wide open as you can get. He is 1, 2, 3 yards past the sticks, right in the middle of the field. Wide open. The problem is, when he comes open, Jordan is under duress. He's running for his life because we don't know how to pick up a delayed blitz. And it's stupid stuff. So then there's 3 guys. There's the 2 guys that are chasing him. Obviously, as he breaks the pocket, the guy that Zach Tom is blocking decides he's going to go. Zach Tom has no idea his quarterback just ran past him, so that guy comes unblocked. He's got 3 guys. So Jordan just heave-hoes it down the field, and honestly, not terrible. Jaden Reed fights back to the ball. That was, as far as I can tell, very clear defensive pass interference. Did they call that? I don't think they did. No, we had to punt after that. Let me see from the other angle. I mean, that was, the guy blasted Jaden Reed from behind. I know there was a play before where it looked like it, and then when they showed the replay, it was actually decent coverage, maybe, but I don't know, man. That looked like defensive pass interference to me. Good effort by Jordan to try to get the ball to Jaden Reed, who was the guy that was open. But let me just see here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't enough contact. I think you absolutely could have made the call there, but whatever. It was a good call. There's a guy open. Couldn't block it up. So there you go. Had to punt. Now we get the turnover. The Packers get the ball at the 16-yard line. First play is a run by Josh Jacobs. Pretty cool design. Again, they're running some really cool stuff here. I really like the design because you're giving your offensive line, again, a lot of easier assignments. You're having guys, like you're trying to cut guys off. So, for example, let me just give you one example. From my vantage point behind the Minnesota Vikings, number 97 is the defensive tackle in question for the Vikings. Sean Ryan is to number 97 of the Vikings' left. The play is to the left, and they're telling Sean Ryan to wall him off so he can't go to the left. Does that make sense? So it's an easy assignment. He's blocking down. So from Sean Ryan's vantage point, it's like, hey, look over to your left. You see that guy over there? Make sure he doesn't get past you. Just wall him off. Makes it much easier. Zach Tom, same thing. His job is to get to number 0, Ivan Pace, the linebacker. He's way over to the left. So he's actually pushing past the defensive line. He's just got to go block these guys. Then you've got pullers who are coming over to block the other direction. It's kind of sloppy. Tucker Kraft has to come in and block down. He does a good job blocking the guy, but it's a real tight squeeze, and Josh Jacobs has got to navigate it. Does a pretty good job. Here's the problem. Zach Tom and Sean Ryan didn't block it. Again, those 2 guys had really easy jobs, and Sean Ryan couldn't block the guy. He gets off and brings him down, and the linebacker Pace that Zach Tom was supposed to block also gets off and brings him down. I mean, this is not a home run touchdown type of thing, but it's one of those plays where you block up past the linebackers and you see what they can do against the safeties kind of deal, you know? But two guys, and again, not the hardest blocks in the world, and both of them got free and were able to make the tackle. So that's the offensive line there. So that is going to bring up 2nd and 7. We're going to spread it out now. We got 5 receivers out there. And what are we doing? Real quick out route to Romeo Doubs. The easiest freaking thing. The play that never fails. Just catches it. He cuts back inside to Gilmore. He picks up 9 yards. I would love, some games we run the ball really well, and you kind of get this thought where it's like, why don't we just run it every play until they can stop it? I feel like we should run quick out routes all day until they can stop it, because it's always there. I don't understand. It's cool too because Jordan knew exactly what he was going to do. He didn't even try to move his eyes or nothing. He took a little 2-step, just locked and loaded that frickin' cannon and unleashed the ball to Romeo Doubs, who, again, with 2nd and 7, you pick up 9 yards. It doesn't get any easier than that. Brings up 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. They sprint to the line of scrimmage. Jordan says, no, slow down. Come on in here. Let's change the play. Let's change it up. You come here, you go there, whatever. Run ultimately goes for 2 yards, so they get half of it. Can't really be mad at that, getting half the yards you need on 1st down. Every once in a very rare while, I will look at something and not really understand how the blocking scheme was supposed to go. Usually that means that somebody didn't really understand something. Zach Tom tries to get up to the next level to block a linebacker, doesn't even try to block the guy off the end, and neither does anybody else. So the tight end is Tucker Kraft. He's going over and blocking a wide receiver. And that guy off the end was able to just come right in and tackle him. But even still, there was nowhere for him to go. With the hole he was trying to go through, it looked like it would have been Josh Myers the primary reason that run play didn't work. I still don't fully understand it. Josh Myers probably could have got past that number 90 edge rusher there. Not really fully past him, but I don't know. Maybe could have done something. But number 97, again, completely unblockable today. Josh Myers lost it, and that's why that run didn't really go anywhere. Also, didn't block the guy on the end. I don't know why. Maybe the assumption is the play's going to get down there fast enough so it's not going to matter, but I don't know that that's generally how that works in the NFL. Next play is a run play. Josh Jacobs in for a touchdown, and I think this is all Josh Jacobs. I mentioned yesterday I want to highlight some of the positives too, right? When guys really step up and just do the heroic thing. Unfortunately, most of these plays have been failures. So, when it's a bad play, you highlight what went wrong. Been waiting for a good play to highlight what went right. I don't know that there's a ton in this play. I mean, Elton Jenkins, shout out to him, although he was given a pretty easy responsibility. And the reason why is, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the initial plan was here. Josh Myers tries to block a guy who just it's 97 again, Phillips, hops out of the way. Josh Myers, within 2 seconds, is on his back. He's on the ground, on all fours. Really disastrous situation. The reason I say Elton Jenkins had an easy job is because Josh Myers was kind of to the left from the Vikings' vantage point, so the Packers' right. And so everybody moved to that direction. So you got the linebackers over that way. You've got the guy that Elton Jenkins on the other side starts trying to push in that direction. So what does Elton Jenkins do? He says, okay, you want to go that way? That's fine. He pushes him basically over Josh Myers, who again is on all fours. So it's one of those like pushing somebody over a table kind of deal. Somebody gets on all fours and you push them backwards or whatever. That's basically what happened here. So he made it real easy. The reason this play worked is Josh Jacobs went to one side. The Vikings flipped, just sold out to go there. Jacobs completely reverses field, goes the other direction, and there's a massive vacancy there, partially because everybody ran the other direction, and then the only other guy that was over there, Elton Jenkins, literally just planted him on his face. So I'm 110%. I think that play kind of was a fumbling mess of a disaster, but Josh Jacobs made that thing work. He sold out hard to one side, completely reversed field, and nobody was there. Anyways, why don't we take our first break after the touchdown there? We'll come back. We still got 5 minutes left in the third quarter on their next drive. We'll be right back. So I lied. 5:07 was how that ended. So now we pick up the next time the Packers have the ball, third quarter, 51 seconds left from the 30-yard line. But it's a run to Emmanuel Wilson, and it's one of those Jaden Reed goes behind Jordan. Jordan kind of hands the ball, and it's really uncertain who he's going to give the ball to, and he ends up handing it to the running back. The benefit of this, it seems kind of stupid. Like, why are you even wasting your time? It really does freeze the linebackers. They don't want to commit downhill. Might even be the biggest thing. They're not really going to the side of Jaden Reed. They're not committing to that, but they can't start coming downhill because if they actually give it to Jaden, and that's really what the guys up in the box and Matt LaFleur are watching. If I give it to Jaden, the running back, whoever, and the linebackers are crashing downhill, it's probably going to blow up our run play, but now I'm going to give it to Jaden Reed because now you're screwed. So they have to kind of stay back and wait and see what happens. By that time, we got Zach Tom and we got Josh Myers up at the next level. Both of those guys do a great job getting to the next level, and both of the linebackers who were frozen, who didn't come downhill, who didn't try to evade or do anything, were sitting ducks for our offensive linemen to get up there and block them. So really fantastic job. Everybody really did a pretty good job. 97 again comes up and makes the play. But it was really only after he got past 97, so it's hard to block a guy who's just trying to turn around away from you to make a tackle. But if we were to criticize that would be Sean Ryan, who was trying to block him. Next play is a 2nd and 4. We've got 5 people running routes. We got Romeo Doubs running the undefeated out route. In fact, Dontavian Wicks also running an out route, also open. We've got, again, hard to tell because once the ball comes out, the defense isn't really acting the way that they normally would, but it looks like Reed potentially has got quite a bit of room down there. And then also Emmanuel Wilson kind of leaked out. He would have picked up a first down as well. So a lot of options. Nothing wrong with taking the Romeo Doubs out route here. This is the weird one where Romeo loses his footing, falls down, still is able to make the catch, and then just spits it out of his chest. I don't fully understand what the heck happened here. But, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of guys open. We got a lot of first downs here. You got Wicks is shockingly wide open. You got Romeo Doubs is shockingly wide open. You got Emmanuel Wilson shockingly wide open, about at the sticks. Romeo and Wicks, by the way, are about 6 or 7 yards past the sticks. So this is a big pickup. This will put us almost to midfield from, I think we're at the, I don't even know, the 35-ish or something. And again, Reed possibly had a shot down the field, but it's just unnecessary. I mean, this is, hey, let's run the old out route there, and we know how to do this. And again, I think the ball placement was perfect. The decision was perfect. I mean, Doubs just inexplicably falls down. Apparently, Jordan should have thrown it the other way to Wicks, who ran the exact same route on the other side of the field but didn't fall down. You know what I mean? I don't freaking know, man. And again, he caught it. He's falling down. He reaches up. He catches it. We're good to go. He's got 2 hands on it. He brings it into his stomach and somehow lets it go. I don't understand. Story of the day. I don't understand. So that brings up a 3rd and 4 now. 2nd and 4, obviously, pretty common run situation there. That or, take a shot or whatever. But now you're looking at 3rd and 4. It's a little iffy at this point to run the ball. So you're probably anticipating pass, which is what it is. They've got a bunch over to the left, and they got Romeo Doubs kind of running what I've been saying that I've been what I would rather Romeo or Wicks or somebody run, which is trying to beat man coverage, coming across the middle of the field. The bunch kind of creates some separation. Romeo does a little hesitation and then breaks to the middle of the field. Jordan puts it right on him. He catches about a half a yard short of the sticks, but is able to turn up and just get the first down. So we're doing it now. We're doing the right things. We're calling the right plays. We're running the right routes. Jordan is making the right decisions. He's throwing accurate passes. Aside from that ridiculous drop, things are going pretty well right now. Next play is to Emmanuel Wilson. He picks up just 2 yards. Elton Jenkins primarily seems to be the one that kind of botches this. So
It's always hard to tell when it's a really bad run play, but it's pretty simple. We got Sean Ryan doing a really good job blocking to the right. You got Elgton Jenkins blocking to the left, and you got Josh Myers kind of lead blocking up into the linebacker, right? So that's kind of, you're creating those two walls there. Again, Sean Ryan doing a good job. Zach Tom able to actually release up to the next level, which I think the really annoying part about this is, and maybe this was a mistake, for some reason, Elgton Jenkins is supposed to, he has a really hard job trying to cut a guy off to his right, which is where Josh Myers is. Josh Myers decides to abandon that, go up and get the linebacker that Zach Tom is going to get. So I don't know exactly, but I could tell you this. If this is the design that they're trying to do, it's completely unnecessary because I think Josh Myers could have helped Elgton Jenkins and really sealed that off. And we could have just had Zach Tom go up to the next level and block that. And then you would have had a really nice lane to run through. And Zach Tom would have blocked that. I mean, this is a huge play. It's a huge play if he was able to do that. But that's not what happened. Again, I don't know what the actual design of it was. I don't know if Josh Myers actually did the wrong thing or the right thing. But, a lot of these plays, you kind of double team. You kind of help your guy, especially when he has a hard reach, when you're trying to get past a guy and then wall him off. It's a really hard thing to do. That's where a guy like Josh Myers would kind of help you block so that, wait until the guy gets established, wait until he gets his footing. Okay, you got him. Now I'm going to go up to the next level. And Myers is just like, nah, screw this, and just goes to the next level. So I think Josh Myers botched that. And it's not the first time I've said that in this game. I'm watching the design and I'm thinking this doesn't make a ton of sense that we have two guys blocking a linebacker and one guy just abandoning the area we're trying to block. That does not compute to me. So some fancy footwork from Emmanuel Wilson, who he had to slow down first of all. And the problem with slowing down because everything is botched is that the guys who are allowed to come off the edge are now catching up to you. He makes that guy miss, moves forward, and just kind of pushes the pile as much as he can to get those two. But that brings up a 2nd and 8. Packers are not yet to midfield. They're at about the 43-yard line. Jordan Love, good play, good pass, good catch, first down, everything's great. Unfortunately, Zach Tom, illegal formation. So, again, with these freaking penalties, like every time we get some momentum, you get and it's not even, like a receiver trying to push off or something that just makes sense. I can't get lined up right. And I don't know, but I think that might be that thing. They're trying to catch a lot of these tackles for lining up too far back to try to get that extra step. They're trying to really stop that. I think maybe that's part of what they got them for there, but I don't know. But penalty. And so instead of getting a first down and being at midfield, now the Packers go back to about the 38-yard line, and it's 2nd and 13. Vikings end up bringing an overload blitz to the left side. Packers have no idea how to pick that up. We've got, let's see, looks like Zach Tom just goes the wrong way. I mean, if we're just counting, you got Tucker Kraft blocks the guy in the end. Zach Tom grabs the wrong guy, and essentially you've got Sean Ryan here blocking nobody. As somebody between the tackle or between the tackle and tight end, somebody comes screaming right through. Zach Tom should have picked this guy up. Let Sean Ryan block the guy that he has, and everything's fine. Free rusher gets to Jordan Love. Jordan Love does a good job of just squeezing through there. But he's about to get hit again from the other side, so he just dumps this ball off across the middle of the field and lives to fight another day. It was a great job by Jordan Love to, first of all, evade the pressure. Second of all, realize that he's about to get hit again from behind, throw that ball, and just kind of, to be honest, I don't know if he's trying to throw it to Romeo Doubs and then got hit, in which case we got lucky in that because that might have been a pick. But either way, whatever. He got the ball out, threw it, air quotes here, to Romeo Doubs, and now it's 3rd and 13. So, again, a decent drive. We're moving. It's not the greatest thing in the world. There's a lot of frickin' mistakes, a lot of stupidity, but we're moving, and then penalty. Okay, 2nd and 13. That sucks. Oops. And it's Zach Tom twice, by the way. Zach Tom penalty. Oh, Zach Tom doesn't block a guy. So now we're in 3rd and 13. Instead of a first down at midfield, 3rd and 13 because of 2 mistakes by Zach Tom. What happens on the very next play? Sack. And look, this is not me saying actually Zach Tom sucks. He doesn't. People make mistakes. These things happen. The problem is when you have an entire team making mistakes and it's just every play is just somebody else's turn. Okay, now it's Josh Myers' turn. Now it's Zach Tom's turn. Now it's Jordan's turn. Now it's Romeo's turn. Okay, Sean Ryan, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Rashid, why don't you give up a sack? And it wasn't Rashid. It was actually Zach Tom. So it's twofold. There's two guys that get to Jordan Love pretty quick. First of all, they're running this little loop here. They've got 51 coming around. So you've got, I think it's Elton Jenkins here. Elton Jenkins chases somebody. It's one of those things where they come to the inside and Elton chases them like, oh, no, I got to go get that guy. Well, somebody's looping around his back. Elton Jenkins notices it way too late. But by the time he gets there, he's already getting tackled by a guy that just whoops Zach Tom. So, this was the Zach Tom drive. This was a drive that was working, and Zach Tom just failed 3 times in a row. It's a Zach Tom penalty, followed by Zach Tom doesn't pick up a block, followed by Zach Tom just gets beat, and it's just 1, 2, 3 punt. You only get so many drives, right? There's only so many drives you get in a game. To have one player botch an entire drive is pretty detrimental. It happens pretty regularly with like quarterbacks because they touch the ball every single time. It's not a good thing. It's not acceptable, but it's understandable. You cannot have single players destroying entire drives. And he wasn't the only one that messed up, but he definitively botched those 3 plays in a row that screwed us. All right, so now it is fourth quarter. We got 9:18 left. So when I said 3.5 quarters, we still have not really seen a good Packers team. Right? They were able to score after the pick, but whoop-de-frickin-do, you're starting at the 20-yard line? So 3.5 quarters, we haven't seen much. So now it is 27-10, 9:18, 1st and 10. Packers have the ball at the, let's call it 33-yard line. Jordan Love throws what appears to be an out route to Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft did not think it was an out route. Either way, I don't think it was a great decision because that was pretty well covered. Jaden Reed, across the middle would have probably been a better option. But anyways, miscommunication. Tried to throw what appears to be an out route, and either that or it was just a terrible pass. I don't know. But miscommunication, 2nd and 10. Next play, tons of pressure. It's hard to know who exactly to blame because everybody's kind of blocking. There's a little bit of a pocket there, but not much. Jordan Love is able to step up. He starts running to his left. He didn't have to do so. If he just steps up and throws to Tucker Kraft, it's a first down. Instead, he steps up and then just starts running. So now that he starts running for his life, the problem is he's running to the side of the field with nobody. The design of this play was to put 4 receivers essentially to the right side of the field. He books it to the left side of the field and nobody's there. So he's kind of looking for a second to see if he can throw to somebody. There's nobody there. Romeo, by the time he notices it, he doesn't. No, he does. I don't think he ever notices it. He just keeps on running the wrong direction, not the right direction. But if you noticed, you would have doubled back and tried to get open for your guy, whatever. But so Jordan Love takes another sack. Not great as far as the pressure. They brought a ton of guys. Again, everybody kind of blocked. The spot he was in collapsed, but again, you step up. Okay, step up. Don't bail. I think he was scared because he thought somebody was going to hit him from behind. That wasn't true. Everything collapsed. If he would have just stepped up and dumped the ball off to Tucker, it's an easy first down. But he said, nope, they're going to kill me. So he just starts booking it. And again, he books it to the side of the field with no receivers and takes a sack. So that sucks. But that brings up a 3rd and 10. Packers are not done quite yet. Jordan does the old back, fadeaway jumper shot to Bo Melton for 13 yards. It's, let me go back and look here. It's decently covered, I guess you could say. Romeo Doubs borderline would have been a better option if he didn't fall down again. He's running like a deeper out route and probably would have had a ton of space deeper down the field, but fell down. So, Bo Melton was, it's pretty tight. I mean, again, they're playing some pretty tight man coverage, so these guys got to win. Bo Melton didn't have a massive amount of separation, but he had enough. And so Jordan knew where to put his eyes, knew where there was going to be not really a vacancy, but in terms of like when you turn the corner, I'm going to try to throw it out in front of you, and I need you to catch it. And that's essentially what happened here. Really good job of decision-making, throw, catch, everything worked. First down. By the way, I just want to highlight this, and I don't know how much complaining there is of this, but I heard somebody make a comment about people were complaining that we didn't run the ball enough. You have to understand at this point in the game, when you're down by this much, you don't run anymore. So obviously, when you look at the stats, you're going to see way more passing than running. For a team that is like a 50-50 team, which, by the way, almost never happens, but a team that is like a 50-50 team to be, 60-40 or 65-35, whatever this game was, yeah, it's because we were down by 1 billion points, so you have to throw. Next play was a really perfect play call because, it's almost as if they knew exactly what they were running because they were able to get, well, not only was pretty much everybody open, but you had Tucker Kraft and it looks like Romeo Doubs getting behind. So you got, your deeper safeties and then you got your underneath safeties, or not safeties, your corners, cover guys, whatever. And so there's this vacancy behind the linebackers. And again, you could have gone Kraft, you could have gone Romeo, either way. It's a little bit underthrown, but at the same time, you don't want to throw it out to the safety and give him a chance. So I understand maybe saying, I just want you to sit right there and catch it. So I'm not going to really ding Jordan on that. Plus, it's a massive pickup. This is a 35-yard gain down to the 19. So being a little conservative and not wanting to throw a pick when you got a guy that's certainly wide open is fine. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that that's what he was doing and not just underthrowing this. Next play is one of the more painful plays of the game. We got a beautifully blocked, just ridiculously beautifully blocked run play here. Josh Jacobs is running through a hole that you could drive a truck through, stiff arms a guy into hell, drives through another guy, I think that might be Harrison Smith, for about another 5 yards as a touchdown. However, they're blaming number 75, Sean Ryan, for a hold, I believe it is, when he's really just smashing a guy into the ground, but they're going to call it a hold, which nullifies the touchdown, which is painful. So instead of being a touchdown, we are now all the way back to the Minnesota 29-yard line, and it is 1st and 20. But Emmanuel Wilson coming out of the backfield, nice little swing pass out to him. He picks up a massive gain. It's 14 yards on 1st and 20. So really nice play, great blocking down the sideline. Good job by Emmanuel Wilson to just get straight north and south, run straight downhill, and run past your blockers and smash into the first guy and get as many yards as you can. Brings up 2nd and 6 from 15-ish. Next play is super weird. We got 3 guys seemingly running roughly the same thing. They're kind of all running little slant routes, all from different areas. And it's real tight press coverage. And so we've got the tight end here. I'm not exactly sure if that's Tucker or who. He's getting wrapped up real bad. Yeah, that's Tucker. Jaden Reed, same thing. He's trying to run this real quick slant. Doesn't work. Guy just gets right into his shoulders. There is a relief valve off to the right side here. I don't know if that's Brooks or some kind of running back. And then there's also Romeo, who does kind of win. He's got a little bit more separation. He cuts to the inside. That's an option. The only issue is that the angle kind of sucks because Jaden Reed is so incapable of moving in the right direction that the path of the ball would almost have to go through Jaden Reed to get to Romeo. If he's even looking in that direction, I don't know. So it kind of sucks. These guys are like bear hugging our receivers right now. And so I think the quick dump off pass here to, let's see who this is, Emmanuel Wilson. That would have been the direction to go, I think. Just swing it out to him. I mean, it's probably a first down. The guy that's guarding him is kind of standing at the sticks. Maybe he takes him down right there. Either way, it's something. I don't know. That would have been my preference. But Jordan feels the pressure. He has to escape and just throws the ball away. So play wasn't great to begin with. Can probably blame a lot of things on this. The pass blocking wasn't great. The play call really just didn't work. Again, Jordan probably should have just thrown to the relief valve and it wasn't there. Everything just kind of broke down on that play. So now it's 3rd and 6. And if anybody wants to tell you about, they're playing soft zone now. There's 7 minutes left and we're down by 17 points. And I'm telling you, they're blitzing and they're playing tight press man coverage. There was no garbage time in this game. 0. None. Sorry to tell you. Next play, 3rd and 6, ton of options here. There's really a bunch of options. A bunch of them potentially are first downs. What does he decide to do, though? The old faithful, man. 3rd and 6, just hit Romeo Doubs on that out route. It's really pretty because Romeo kind of does a little bit extra. It's not just as simple as normal. He kind of shakes to the inside, does a really good job. Kind of looks like he's going to push up into the end zone. Kind of gets north for a little bit of a while so that the defender kind of has to go up that direction with him. And then breaks to the outside. Jordan puts the ball on him. He works his way back, but because he did such a good job of pushing up the field enough, even fighting back for it, he's a yard past the sticks, and it's a first down. So, I mean, really nice route, really tight coverage, not soft zone. There was no soft zone. Good play call, good ball placement, good decision, good catch. Just well done. Only thing not well done is that this almost got blown up because Josh Myers got absolutely put in a frickin' spin cycle. Just got worked, and so Jordan was pretty much instantly under pressure, but he was still able to get the ball out to Romeo Doubs for a first. Man, I swear, the more I watch this, and I haven't watched the defense, but the more I watch this, and I kind of hate saying it, but I want a center. I really want a good center. It would be great if we had that. So now it's 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Packers hand the ball off right up the gut. Yes, it's shotgun, by the way. Shotgun handoff. It's just the worst thing you could ever do. Shotgun handoff, picks up 5 yards, so gets a little more than half. Real simple, just trying to get some little bit of a gap in the middle. We're going to use our 2 guards to kind of pry open in the middle and then have the center get up to the next level. Works like a charm. And then the next play is about as easy of a play as you'll ever see. Emmanuel Wilson just runs right in for a touchdown. He runs off to the left side. This is one of those things. I think they just played it poorly. Really bad play call by the defense because you've got the guy outside of Rasheed Walker. I mean, they basically gave us the gap that we wanted. They spaced their guys out so much, and then they've got the safety way off to the wrong side. They got a corner bailing off the other direction. I mean, there's nothing but daylight the way that we want to run. There's 2 guys there, so we're looking at between Rasheed Walker and Elton Jenkins. And there's 2 defenders kind of in that area. The edge rusher for Rasheed tries to get around way upfield, so Rasheed just basically lets him go and is just like, okay, bye, see ya. And then Myers and Elton are able to block the only other real defender there. So there's just a massive, massive hole to run through. Emmanuel Wilson, about as simple of a run as you'll ever see right into the end zone. So, I mean, that's one of those things where you just have the exact right call at the exact right time, and the defensive coordinator had the exact wrong call at the exact wrong time. It's one of the things I felt like with Joe Barry that we saw kind of a lot, where it was like, that just feels like we're always doing the exact wrong thing at the exact wrong time. You know, we saw plays almost exactly like this, where there's just a vacant area and they just ran right into it. Like, what the heck? What is this? It's like, it's nice when it happens in our favor once in a while. Then the next play, we got the 2-point attempt to Romeo Doubs. Obviously, that was converted. It's kind of a tough one. Again, they're playing real tight. You might have been able to slip it in. So you got trips to the right with Romeo by himself down at the bottom of the screen on the left. You might have had a nice tight little window there to Tucker. He decides not to throw it. It's a pretty tight window. Again, I think he probably could have had it, but he's just like, I don't really know. Good job kind of by the blocking up to this point, but now we got pressure coming. Romeo, I mean, talk about a slow developing play here. And I don't necessarily think this is how it was intended to go, but he tries to run to the inside, and then he sort of is like, oh, I'm going to go the other way. Never mind. And then kind of just shoves off and gets it. I think I said it during the game, too. It was clearly a push-off, but whatever. Got the 2 points. All right, why don't we take a break? We'll come back. We're down to 6 minutes now. When we come back, we'll do the rest of the plays, and then we'll get out of here. We'll be right back. All right, so now we are at 4 minutes and 37 seconds left. It is 18-27, Vikings with the lead, obviously. This is one of the worst sacks I've seen Jordan take. He doesn't usually do this kind of stuff, but this was just kind of ugly. This is a case of him holding onto the ball way too long. It looked like he was doing a good job, right? I mean, the blocking is there. Pressure kind of comes. He steps up. He decides to kind of roll to his right and thinks for some reason he can try to make a little move. And rather than just continuing to run
And honestly, I mean, he could have taken off. This is another thing some people have talked about. If you take off and get around this big defensive tackle, there's a lot of green grass. There's potentially a first down here. This is not even mentioning the receivers that are open down the field, but he decides to take off, and then he's like, no, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut back and try to make something here, and stops rather than continuing to run and just gets lit up. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the heck we're doing in this situation. Clearly a little flustered and just not handling pressure very well at this point. The other frustrating thing, and this is easier said than done, but if he steps up in the pocket and rather than running, gets his eyes down the field, you've got Jaden Reed coming across the field here for a big gain. And you've also got, boy, oh boy, I think it's Dontavian Wicks for a touchdown. I mean, that's a tough throw. And it's on the other side of the field, but I mean, he is uncovered. I mean, it is a blown coverage, and that's a walk-in touchdown if he just happens to set his feet and look. So again, he steps up in the pocket, and I think he sees somebody and just panics and just starts running. And maybe that's the right thing to do. I don't know if he can get a throw off in time. I'm not really sure. But it's panic time right now. And so that wasn't great. And then obviously the other component here is the offensive line. The problem, though, is that it's 2.9 seconds before the first bit of pressure gets there. So, you know, it's kind of getting into, it's tough to blame the guys here. And it's not that, I mean, there's so much space. The other guys are doing such a good job blocking. I mean, it's just one guy, just step a little bit, reset your feet and throw. And again, from this rear angle here, I don't know, man, he just panicked. I mean, you can see Reed. It's right in his line of sight. Whatever. It is what it is. That, unfortunately, is going to bring up a 2nd and 18. What are they going to do? They're going to run kind of a deep out route. Go figure, right? It's an 11-yard pickup for Dontavian Wicks. I'd love to see a video of somebody just stopping that. Just being like, nope, this is how you defend it, and breaking up a pass on an out route against the Packers. I don't understand it. So now the Green Bay Packers are at about their own 40-yard line. It is 3rd and 7. Romeo Doubs absolutely just cooks a guy, whoever's got him in man coverage. Again, this is what we've needed, is guys just absolutely burning people in man coverage. And again, I don't think that they've done a terrible job. There have been some instances where it didn't work, but he just releases to the inside. There's really nobody in there because there's so much man coverage. Because there's a lot of man coverage, there's not going to be a lot of zone coverage for obvious reasons. So if he gets away from somebody, there's going to be a lot of green grass. So he gets away from him. He's got several steps on him. He's 3-4 yards away from him. He's probably 2-3 yards past the sticks. Jordan Love throws a nice little easy pass to him. He gets up the field, gets several more yards after that, picks up 18 yards for a first down. I want to reiterate, this is not soft zone. It was man coverage. So the Packers are not moving down the field because the Vikings are backing off. They were playing man coverage on Romeo Doubs, and Romeo Doubs beat man coverage. This is coming off the back of sacks because of overload blitzes. So I don't want to hear any bull crap about, well, yeah, you guys, garbage time. There was no garbage time in this game, 0. Garbage time is not just a thing that magically happens every time a team is winning big. Garbage time is a very specific thing where it's garbage because the defense is playing soft and you're able to just pick up garbage yards. That's not happening at any point in this game. So take your little theories and shove it in your ear hole. 1st and 10, Green Bay Packers. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count on what exactly we did here. So this one, I will tell you, they're playing zone. So this is a zone play. Oh boy, everybody watch out. Packers run an out route. Doesn't matter if you're playing man or zone. They run an out route, and 1st and 10, Romeo Doubs picks up 13 yards. In this case, because the way that they're playing zone, the corners kind of back up more, and so the guy to the inside, I don't know if he's a linebacker or what, is responsible for Romeo. It's the exact wrong thing for that situation because the ground that he has to cover to try to get to Romeo, that sucks. So that was an easy 13-yard pickup as you'll ever see. Next play, again, man coverage. We try to get Romeo Doubs behind these guys. Dontavian Wicks is going to go ahead and run the old, I think this is an out route. Yep, quick out route. It's wide open. It's freaking wide open. I don't understand why it's wide open every time. But Dontavian Wicks is wide open at the sticks. You've also got Jaden Reed, looks like gets behind his guy. I think that's Reed. And then Romeo Doubs also gets behind his guy, but he doesn't have the safety. So, Reed would be a little tough because you got the safety right in the middle. So we're going to take a shot to Romeo Doubs. It's really, really hard to see. I can't fully tell if this ball goes right through his hands or if it's a little too far out. From this freeze frame, I think it's too far out. I've been trying to, it's one of those things, you try to pause it at the exact right time to get the ball at his hands. Of course, there's a freaking delay with the pause. There's a huge delay. Come on, man. Give me a shot here. Yeah, I think it's too far. I mean, you could argue, well, maybe if he dove a little harder or a little further or whatever, but I'm looking at it. I mean, he's fully extended, and the ball would be like the back tip of the ball would be at it like his fingertips. So, Romeo seems obviously upset, whether he's upset with himself or he's hurt or whatever the case may be. I don't exactly know. Let me see from this angle. Maybe I probably can't from the end zone. Probably won't be better, but let's see. Definitely not better. So, and again, PFF obviously did not call this a drop. They said there was only one drop in this game, which I think is nonsense. I don't know how that's even possible. But I will say, I think the Wicks one earlier and this one, I don't think I would classify as drops. I think the balls were a little just too far away. But they take a shot, and I know everybody's mad. But here's the thing. Everybody's mad because they said it was happening all the time. Did you hear me say it all the time? There have been almost no deep shots in this game at all. That was one. There's nothing. And by the way, every time they've tried it, somebody got behind. So it's not like, well, you decided, Matt LaFleur from the sideline said, I want you to throw a bomb, disregard all the other routes and just throw a bomb to this one guy. And then Jordan's like, okay, if that's what you tell me. And then, nobody's open and he throws it. That's not what's happening. There's a guy who's open. And if it would be executed better, it would be a big play, but it's not. Next play is a neutral zone infraction by the Vikings. That gives us 2nd and 5. Jordan goes up and changes the play. He's going to throw a laser to Bo Melton for 4 yards. It's going to get us just a yard short. It's always funny when you see Jordan where he knows exactly where the ball is going to go, and the guy hasn't quite got out of his break yet, so he does that thing where he just freaking locks and loads this thing, and he's just got it like just it's almost like in those games where it's kind of charging, whether it's a gun or something where it's just when you hold down the button, it charges and then just uncorks it. He waits just a second, and then just, as soon as Bo Melton runs his little curl route or whatever it is, he knows it's going to be there. You just got to time it up right. Sure enough, it's exactly what they do. Works like a charm. 3rd and 1, you'll be very unhappy to realize that this is a pass play. You'll be happy to realize that it's caught for 18 yards from the 19-yard line, putting him at the 1-yard line. Again, the Vikings play man coverage. Again, it is a massive overload blitz, which is not something you do in garbage time. We've got, how many guys blitzed on this play? I believe we have 6 pass rushers on this play. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 pass rushers on that play. By the way, generally, a lot of people would characterize a blitz as 5 or more rushers. But Jordan able to escape out of the pocket. Dontavian Wicks kind of runs to the goal line, stops and comes back. Ball's waiting right for him. First play is a run up the gut that loses 2 yards. This, again, I have to assume is some kind of a miscommunication or something because you've got kind of like 2 double teams with nobody getting up to the next level. Maybe somebody was supposed to get up to the next level, just didn't really have the time or whatever the case may be. But bottom line is you just got 2 linebackers, or you got a linebacker unblocked just coming right through the hole to meet our guy. So that was just, I think they got a lot of work to do, man. They've done a good job with the run blocking. The run game is done quite well. I think the scheme has gotten a lot more complex, and I do think there's a lot of guys that are just, I don't know who, but it seems to me there's a lot of guys making some silly mistakes. Somebody is supposed to account for that linebacker, and nobody did. Next play was fantastic. We had a Jordan Love trying to hurry up because we got a free play. He gets the ball, realizes that it's a free play. He's dancing around just looking for any opportunity, and he's got number 18, Malik Heath, coming across the field, whips it in there. Great read, great throw, great play, great everything. Play stands, obviously, because it's a defensive penalty. That puts the Packers at 24-27. Real nice sidearm flick of the wrist, fadeaway kind of a thing. I mean, it's kind of the, okay, here's the Jordan we've been waiting for kind of a deal, right? Packers kick the extra point, makes it 25-27. They're only down by 2 points. Unfortunately, that is the last time the Packers offense will have the ball. Defense kind of let us down. I think we all kind of recognize, I mean, that's how close this game was. You could call it garbage time if you want, but if that last play gets dropped, if Bullard were there to break it up, or if it was just a slightly worse pass, or if the running back didn't make some heroic play, they're punting it away. All we need is a field goal to win that game, and there's every reason to believe that they would have gotten that and won the game. But it's not what happened, so there you go. It was a mistake-riddled thing, and it's funny, every time you go back through this, you realize there's only so many drives, and it doesn't take much to ruin a drive. I mean, if you get, say, 7 drives or something, I don't know how many drives, and you have one drive entirely killed by a penalty. You have another drive entirely killed by a drop. You have another drive killed because Zach Tom 3 times in a row just messes up. A simple mistake here or there can just destroy an entire drive, and you only get a handful of those to score your points. It's that whole game of inches thing, man. It just one little thing can ruin everything. And when you have a bunch of little things, every single drive, it accounts for major points. Like I said in the first portion of this, they should have scored a ton of points early on. They had to settle for a field goal instead of getting a touchdown because of mistakes. Driving down the field, but they turn it over because of a fumble. Turn it over on downs because of a drop. Like I said, I think they could have potentially had 3 touchdowns out of their first 4 drives. They ended up with 3 points. That's what happens. But anyways, hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight as to what happened in this game. I'm going to get out of here. You have a good rest of your night. I will talk to you tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.